This is Sam Vaughn for Sam Sports Report. Today's date is February 22nd, 2024. We've got some college basketball as we're getting down to the good stuff. Let's go college basketball. Kansas State gets their weekend off after they're not looking probably towards the tournament. They're looking towards an NIT bid. The Cats would probably have to win out and probably get to the conference semifinals to make it there and then get a bid. So win the rest of their games or get to the semifinals in Kansas City and then see if you get in. But I don't even know if that'll be enough. Kansas State is off this weekend. The number 23 Jayhawks, who are likely to move out of the polls this week, play Oklahoma State, who the Jayhawks should clean easily, but the Jayhawks haven't been able to clean teams and beat them up. Shown by the last two games, Utah, they got beat pretty good by 7. They got absolutely whipped earlier this week by BYU by 40 points. Plus, the Jayhawks staying out as a moving out seed if they would be losing this. I still think they should be a higher seed, maybe an 8 or 9 or 10 seed, even possibly. It should not be a higher seed than the team that they're playing if they continue to play like this. Looking like a 9 versus an 8 seed, KU should be the 9 seed, for example. KU players to watch out for versus Oklahoma State: Zeke Mayo, Riley Griffin, DeJuan Harrison, KJ Adams, and Hunter Dickerson. For Oklahoma State, it's Marcellus Avery. The Jayhawks can't drop this one. Well, they really will look into the 9 or 10 seed. The Jayhawks are favored by 15.5. Tip from Allen Fieldhouse is at 3 o'clock. The Tigers, who are getting a little bit snubbed in the bracketology, it seems. They should be at least a 4, maybe a 3 seed. The Tigers are really doing well. They'll get a shot against Arkansas at home, though. Arkansas is. For Missouri, I mean. Caleb Grill, Mark Mitchell are players to watch out for. Missouri beat Alabama earlier in the week. Pretty good. They scored their first 110-point games against a ranked opponent since joining the SEC, which was 2011. I said Caleb Grill had 25. Mitchell had 30. That's 55 points combined. For the Arkansas Razorbacks, watch out for Thee Abaji. He leads both teams in points between the both teams, but Missouri gets more support on their supporting cast. Well, John Calipari, head coach, and Dennis Gates will get the matchup. John Calipari, of course, used to coach at Kentucky. Game time is at 7 o'clock. Of course, they expect this to be a tough game. Missouri is favored by 1.5. Obviously, Mizzou is the upper seed. Now we'll do a little football. An update on the coaching news right now. After Kellen Moore got hired as the Saints coach last week after the Super Bowl, he hired former Chargers coach Brandon Staley. Moore will call the plays on his offensive coordinator. So there will be no OC hired in New Orleans. Bears hire first-year coach Ben Johnson. He has Declan Doyle as the offensive coordinator and hires former Saints coach Dennis Allen. And Brian Schottenheimer was hired by the Cowboys. He will call the plays. Former Bear Matt Eberflus, who was just fired this year, will be the defensive coordinator. Jacksonville coach Liam Cohen, coming from the Buccaneers, offensive coordinator. Grant Usake will call the offense, and Anthony Campbellin will call the defense. On the Las Vegas Raiders, Pete Carroll is the head coach now at the Raiders. Chip Kelly will call the offense, and they have a former coach returning in Patrick Graham as a defensive coordinator. New York Jets, of course, hire Aaron Glenn. Tanner E. Ginston will call the offense, and Steve Wilkes will call the defense. Todd Bowles, 49ers hire DC Robert Slay to go with Kyle Shanahan. Michael McDougal hires Kent Kubiak as the offensive coordinator. Todd Bowles hires John Graziano. We're going to talk Chiefs football for just a second. A very unpopular move was wrote up on today on ESPN. Could the Chiefs drop Travis Kelce? Cut him. That would save the money for the Chiefs on salary cap. Could offer more ideas for the Chiefs the offseason, signing players. Chiefs have guard Trey Smith. Looks like he may end up with the Dolphins. That was a prediction. The Chiefs still do seem like they don't have enough money, even though the cap moved up. Some options for the Chiefs on tackle, which is really the position they should be concentrated on. No, not tight end. Tackle. Ronnie Stanley, Baltimore Ravens. Cam Robinson, Minnesota Vikings. Also a guy you could add in the receiving game, and I think this would really help and maybe be a good idea if they want to replace Kelce or just play along with Kelce. Cooper Kupp, wide receiver. He could also play for the Chiefs next year. They would have to sign him to a contract. We'll see what happens with that. Jared Willicks, he's a guy that can go on the tight end. Another option for the tight end. The Chiefs cut or hold on to one. Austin Hooper, always been a solid tight end. Juwan Johnson. Remember, I'm looking at the analytics side, not the fan side when I do my podcast. If Kelce retires, I guess he gives up $15 million. But it would kind of be selfish of him to keep $15 million with all the money he has. This is just some ideas from ESPN, CBS thrown out. Now we'll talk baseball tomorrow. This is Sam Vaughn for Sam Sports Report. Tennessee and number 7, Texas A&M squared off. Texas A&M was trailing at halftime, 36-32. Texas A&M would keep it close in the second half. Again, just scoring them out there 4. But it was Tennessee getting the road win, and maybe a game that Texas A&M was favored, 77-69, Tennessee over Texas A&M number 7. Cryer averages 14.5 for Houston. Iowa State's leading scorer is Curtis Jones. Again, the game's underway. 7-5. Houston over Iowa State. Iowa State's 8. Houston's 5. As we said, the Jayhawks play today at 3. Tigers play today at 7. Also, Kentucky, Alabama at 5. Players to watch out for: Otto Oio. He averages 16.2. Mark Sears averages 18.5. And that's Sam on Sports.